right, we are back to Football 101. We are back to Football 101, the YouTube show featuring your host, The Beetle. That's right, The Beetle. You're probably wondering again, former old school, yes right, old school, old school defensive back, wide receiver, back in the day, senior high school, senior Ohio, as well as college football, Miami University in Ohio. That's right, and yes, you can see I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, and for the record, being a Miami Dolphins fan, I was a Miami Dolphins fan as a 9th grader and watched them compete and win the Super Bowl 1972, the perfect season, and win the Super Bowl against the Washington Redskins back in the day, and that's when I became a true Miami Dolphins fan because they represented the AFL, the up-and-coming league, and they beat the Washington Redskins in the Super Bowl. And I was crazy about the Miami Dolphins with Bob Greasy as quarterback, Larry Zonka as fullback, Jim Kick as running back, Mercury Morris as the scat back, and all-time favorite wide receiver, Paul Warfield. Yes, Paul Warfield, former Cleveland Brown, the Ohio State wide receiver. So I go back to the 70s, and that's the reason why I'm a fan of the Miami Dolphins again. And so that's a little bit the reason why you see this Miami Dolphins murk. And the Dolphins, go, Fins, go. But I digressed. This is the NFC West. And the team that I'm showcasing, diving deep in, are the Los Angeles Rams. That's right, the LA Rams. We're going to break it down with the time that I have. The LA Rams, they are coming back. Let me just say this. The LA Rams with head coach Sean McVay. Let me give a shout out to Sean McVay. He's also Sean McVay. He's also the former Miami University of Ohio alumni. So a shout out to Sean McVay, a Miami University alumni, and got his Super Bowl. And of course, last year they struggled to find their identity. Matter of fact, Sean McVay, he was about ready to retire. And one of his favorite players, Aaron Donald, did retire after this year. No longer Aaron Donald there, the defensive tackle. But Sean McVay was about ready to retire. It looks like, excuse me, it looks like he's getting his groove back. Of course he's married and got a kid, and he talks about that as well. Now let me give a shout out to the local folks that follow the LA Rams. Hashtag Los Angeles Rams. They're doing a great job. Let me just say, Inside Rams Camp, where I saw a great interview with McVay. And let me see, I saw another great interview with the superstar. I didn't realize how much of a superstar he was, but give it up to Puka. How you pronounce his last name? Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua. He's from UCLA. Broke out as a superstar last year. And no, Puka came from, my bad, Brigham Young. my bad. He came from Brigham. I thought he was a UCLA wide receiver. But Puka, he came from Brigham Young. This is his second year. He just busted out. He busted out and showcased his wide receiving skill. And he's showcasing it with Cooper Kupp. And great interview that I saw Inside Rams Camp with Puka. And Puka is, let me just say this. Again, I didn't know much. He is so genuine. Puka is, he is just a nice guy. And he relates to the fans. He's so genuine. And yet, he's so meticulous too. Another wide receiver, young wide receiver, just got it going on. And really like Puka. And matter of fact, he has a brother who plays for the Saints. he talked about his brother who plays for the Saints. So Puka's been spending a lot of time doing training camp with Cooper Kupp, who we know, Cooper Kupp, Mr. All-Pro, All-Superstar. Puka said he's getting some tips, extra tips from Cooper Kupp. And now they make a great duo. Let me just say, with Puka showcasing, elevating, and Cooper Kupp, they are a threat. They are a legitimate threat offensively. And of course, I'll give a shout out to their quarterback, Matthew Stafford. I'm going to say Matthew Stafford. He 14th year from the University of Georgia, but he also played majority of his career with the Detroit Lions. And you know, I just said we. I said Detroit Lions, although they struggle with Matthew Stafford, and I'm sure surprised of his elevation in this Super Bowl win of a couple of years ago when they bought that championship. Oh, did I say that? When the LA Rams bought their championship, bringing in players who were retired out of the blue, and everyone in SoFi Stadium. I'm going to shout out to SoFi Stadium. Oh, by the way, SoFi Stadium is so nice, man. Oh, let me just say, yes, the Beetle and the family, we lived in LA. We actually lived in San Pedro, California, South Los Angeles, South LA, and loved it for an entire year, 2024, 2025. 2004, my bad. Dang! 2004 and 2005 when I lived out in San Pedro. So we know that, basically the Beetle knows that area. And yes, I love the vibe there. It's nice. It's nice. You can't slice it any other way. It's just too expensive. And that SoFi Stadium is expensive. Number of layers up and down. They dug it in the ground. Man, it's nice where it's located. They put it in the ideal place, South LA. Man, I can't wait to go to one of those games in SoFi Stadium. So the Beatles giving a shout out to SoFi Stadium. If any of you go to SoFi Stadium, send me a shout out and let me know what it's like. Because I can't wait to get there one of these days. I'm going there one of these days. So a shout out to SoFi Stadium. Shout out to Matthew Stafford. I didn't realize Matthew Stafford is in his 14th year. Wow. So, you know, the clock is ticking. and for backup, guess who they have? Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah, Sean McVay brought in Jimmy Garoppolo from the 49ers, from the LA Vegas Raiders. And as an experienced backup, that's a good move. Okay? I haven't, Jimmy, he deserves to be a backup. Yeah, it's his 15th year. What is it? No, Jimmy Garoppolo, 11th year, 10th year. He's been around. He knows the system. They pal around because head coach Sean McVay, he's a young guy. He just like hanging around the older veterans because they all the same age now. It's kind of wild to see Sean McVay just hanging out with his players, and that's the reason why he gets along well with Matthew Stafford. So the offense is doing well with the wide receiver. They brought in for the running back, and I'm using Lindy Sports. Let me just say, Lindy Sports is the real deal. Y'all get Lindy Sports. He breaks it down every time. Trust Lindy Sports. And by the way, if you like my show, please like and subscribe. There's so many folks out there doing their show, and they're getting doing advertisement for this issue and that issue. I'm not doing any advertisements, okay? I'll just say like and subscribe. That's how I roll as a former defensive back, wide receiver. I'm not asking you to do this or do that so I can have my sponsors reward me. No, this is out of the love for the sport, even at my age. Yes, my old school age of 65, almost 66. So yes, I'm still bringing it with an attitude. So the LA Rams, now my concern is their running back. They said Notre Dame product, Karen Williams, had a breakout season in 2023. And then they did draft, and I did see Michigan, Blake Corum, in practice, fitting in well, fitting in fast. He's physical, he's stout. And as a matter of fact, they were featuring him in several of the training camp videos, and you can see that he has a lot. He's got a lot to learn with regards to technique and blocking in the NFL. So that's one thing that is so crucial when you make that transition from college. Even though you won a championship at Michigan, you get to the NFL. Look out! Got to learn a new technique. And that's the reason why third-string quarterback Stetson Bennett from Georgia, this will be his second year, is third-team quarterback. Y'all remember Stetson Bennett, don't you? He won that national championship at Georgia, but hasn't busted a grape in the NFL. Matter of fact, he has some off-season stuff going on. Someone needs a quick shout-out to Stetson Bennett. He had some stuff going on in the off season, a little bit, with the law. I just think he needs to settle down and get adjusted. I saw him in preseason. I saw him in the game, the LA Rams practice. He still doesn't have the technique down as a professional quarterback. He doesn't see the field well. Again, but Stetson Bennett, he's 5'10", 5'11", 190, and this will be his second year. And I think someone needs to spend a lot more time with him, and I think Jimmy Garoppolo will give him that experience, voice, because Matthew Stafford won't give it to him, but Jimmy Garoppolo will probably bend his ear if he asks. So they're going to have 3 quarterbacks on their roster, and kind of starting to feel for Stetson Bennett, because if he doesn't show improvement, and they're expecting him to step up, because Matthew Stafford can't go on again and again. Because let me just say this, I'm not the biggest Matthew Stafford fan. Hello, he has a still great arm, his timing, but he does make bonehead plays. He made bonehead plays in Detroit, and even though he has better weapons now, he tends to make bonehead plays in crucial situations. So hope with better offense philosophy and offensive coordinator, whose offensive coordinator is Mike LaFleur, young LaFleur. He's good. He's great. Defensive coordinator Chris Shula. Chris Shula as defensive coordinator. That helps out tremendously. So he got the Puka, wide receiver Cooper Kupp. Then the offensive line, the Rams spent a combined $50 million in guaranteed money to shore up their interior offensive line by signing guards Jonah Jackson and Kevin Dotson, with Jackson slated to play left guard. Stephen Avila will move to center. The Texan Christian product had a solid rookie season at left tackle. So they're trying to shore up their offensive line. Defensively, the Rams were excited about the landing of Versay, who will also line up at linebacker. So they needed some help. So they landed Gerard Versay, the off-Rams, to believe Versay can be a tone setter up front because of his physicality. So they're trying to beef up. With the retirement of Aaron Donald, we know there's going to be like 3 or 4 people trying to fulfill his tenacity, but it won't do, because Aaron Donald was a complete beast in the middle, and he just got tired. After winning Super Bowl and then coming back, he just got tired of being beat up and no one helping him on the defensive line. Linebackers, Ernest Jones is unquestionable leader in the defense. He's a South Carolina product that showed one of the best inside linebackers. So you have Jones and you have Christian Roseboom. I don't know much about him, but he's slated to be a starter. And then at secondary, you have Darius Williams, returns to the Rams in free agency. You have Los Angeles also added former Bills cornerback Tre'Davious White. And now he's good. Tre'Davious White is a solid big corner. Let me make sure. Yes, he is. Yeah, he's solid. 5'9", 192. He's a good corner. They also have Darius Williams and Quentin Lake, as well as Kobe Durant. Solid, but not exceptional. And not exceptional. So that's one of their weaknesses. Special teams, Stanford product Joshua Carty is the latest step for the Rams to solve their kicking woes. Yeah, they had horrible kicking. What is the deal about that? Every time I see the Rams kickers, they choke. They're bad. Why can't you get a solid A1 kicker, veteran kicker, in SoFi Stadium? So they're struggling still with their kicker. Pro Bowler Matt Gay signed his with the Colts in 2022. Punter Ethan Evans returns from a second year. Intangibles with the 17-game schedule, the Rams will get 9 home games. And they say, at SoFi Stadium. Yeah, SoFi Stadium. That's where the NFL Network is as well. A little shout out to NFL Network. I'm not going to dog you out, but we're not the NFL Network. But it's at SoFi Stadium for the upcoming season. So they're packing in more home games. So they have more home games. So again, here's their let me run down their season. So overall, I really like their offense. The elevation of Puka at wide receiver, with a team with Cooper Kupp, as well as incorporation of Blake Corum in the running attack and really the short dump off passes. He's solid, but he still has a ways to go. Let me just give a shout out to DeMarco Farr on the Rams Network, Inside Rams Camp. He asked some great questions as an analyst on that Inside Rams Camp show and the Los Angeles Rams show. So shout out to DeMarco Farr. He was a former LA Ram, and you can see when they interview Sean McVay is just he got it going on nonstop. His brain just never stops. The guy is like a mini genius, but he has to tone it down, and he even admit he has to tap it down because he's just way overthinking things. And I think he even admitted that, now that he has a family, he's able to slow down his methodical way of life and football. So here's their schedule. Here's the Rams schedule. They start off at Detroit. That's gonna be a great one. Matthew Stafford going back to Detroit. Take that, Matthew. You're lost. Then they go on the road to Arizona. It might be kind of interesting. Oh, Arizona coming back, y'all. Watch out. Then they host San Fran. Then they go on the road to Chicago. Then they host Green Bay. And then they have a bye. Then they go to Las Vegas Raiders. And then the Minnesota host the Vikings Thursday night game. Then they go to Seattle. Then they host Miami. My Dolphins. That's going to be a great game. Oh, that's going to be a Monday night, baby. Watch out. My Dolphins are coming to SoFi Stadium. And then they go to New England. Then they host Philly. Fly. Eagle. Fly. Then they go to New Orleans. Then they host Buffalo. Then they go to San Fran. Then they go to New York Jets. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, puppet master. And then they host Arizona, and then they finish out with Seattle. Yeah, they have more home games, so that's the reason why I give the Rams their record of 9-8. 9-8. 9 wins, 8 losses. 9 wins, 8 losses. And the reason why is the major reason why, the loss of Aaron Donald. It cannot be overstated. You cannot substitute. Again, great players coming in, but there's no substitution for Aaron Donald. He was a beast in the middle. So that's going to take them a while to readjust that defensive front line, constantly putting pressure on the quarterback, changing up things. That's the reason why the defensive line going to have struggle. The linebackers going to struggle, and the secondary, even though they brought in some veterans, going to struggle. So that struggles are going to come on their defense. But the loss of Aaron Donald will have a tremendous effect on their ability to hold down teams in their scoring. Yes, the Rams and Matthew Stafford will get his touchdowns. He'll look good. Puka will look good. Puka he's so genuine. He's so nice. I'm just so pleased I got to find out about Puka. As a matter of fact, he had this one story that the fans of LA are naming their kids after him. Puka. Can you believe it? He's that much of he's a cult hero out in LA already. So, and he's very genuine. So watch out for him being another all-pro and bank it. But the critical situation for the Rams in SoFi Stadium, and their training camp is in University of California, Irvine. It's such a nice area. But the critical issue for the LA Rams, even though they're going to have more home games in plush SoFi Stadium. And all the amenities of SoFi Stadium and all the amenities of South LA and Cali. And yes, by the way, the Olympics are coming to California in 2028, as you know. And the Beetle hopes to be out there in 2028. Why not? Why not? So anyway, the Rams, they're improving, but the effect of Aaron Donald will show by the end. There's not enough pass rush, not enough defensive stops. That is their Achilles heel this year. But I really like what they're doing. I really like what Sean McVay is doing. He's bringing in young talent. He's bringing in new culture of talented athletes. So I do like where they're going. So stay focused. It's going to turn around. I expect next year they will be vying for the title of the NFC West. Not this year, but next year. And they'll finish with a positive record this year because why? They got more games in the SoFi Stadium. It's stacked for them. And the league always, yes, I'm going to say this. Roger Goodell and the league, the NFL, always pampered to the LA Rams. That's just the way it is. And Rich Eisen knows this of NFL Network. I mentioned Rich Eisen, my boy Rich Eisen. He knows it. So there you go. That's the Beatles assessment, the breakdown. I dig deeper into the LA Rams. Stay tuned, everybody. We just getting started and we wrapping things up. This was show number, Show number 14. And this was the NFC West, the LA Rams. You know what I'm going to say. Let's do this.